Hey guys, I'm here today to do my June wrap-up. I read quite a few books in June, mostly manga and comic books, but I'm here to just jump in and talk to you about them. So first, I didn't finish The Replacement by Brenda Yovanoff. I probably read about 50 pages, and it just wasn't for me, and I looked up Goodreads reviews, and it just didn't seem like one I wanted to keep reading, so I didn't finish it. First, I finished Exclusive Captive by Heather Demetriousis. I've been reading this since last August. I finally finished it. It's crazy because I was really into it, but I just kept putting it down and then reading other stuff over it. There's a girl who's a genie, and she is held captive by this like very powerful man, and she is his genie, and she's been it for a very long time. But finally, some other person from the genie world is able to come and try to save her. I thought it was a really good story, but it's also very young and like a love triangle between like the other genie and the guy holding her captive, and so it's not that good, but it was entertaining. But it did take me almost a year to read, so I probably won't continue with the series. Maybe if I see it at the library and I really don't have anything to read, I'll keep going with it, but it just, you know, it took so long to read. They're pretty big. It was entertaining and I did like it, but just not enough to like purchase the rest of the series. Then I read a manga called Bloom Into You. It's about two girls in high school, Yu and Nanami. I'm probably saying their names wrong, but you know, I try. And they're in student council together, and Yu's never really loved anybody, and Nanami has a crush on her and tells her she wants to be in a relationship, but Yu isn't really sure who she loves or if she wants to love Nanami, or she's not really sure in herself if she is gay or bi, or if she just isn't attracted to anyone. So I really like it so far. It is kind of, I feel like Nanami's trying to force herself on Yu, and Nanami really loves Yu, and just Yu isn't really sure what she wants. So I'm interested to see how it will keep going, and I hope it's not just a unhealthy relationship, because so far Nanami is kind of pushing herself too much on Yu, I think, and Yu isn't really into it. So I'm hoping it gets better. Then I read Warcross by Marie Lu. I already did a full review on this, so I will link it below, but it is a video game book, and it's a virtual reality kind of video game, and I really did enjoy it. It wasn't my favorite video game book out there, but it was still a very entertaining read, very fast paced. I would recommend it, and I do want to read the sequel, but yes, again, I will leave my review below for it. Then I picked up Archie Volume 5. This is just the Archie graphic novel series. Very entertaining. I'm super into Archie comics. I love them so much. So it's just the 5th one in the series of an Archie reboot. Next, I finally picked up A Court of Wings and Ruins by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 3rd book in the A Court of Mist and Fury series. I'm not really sure what it's called. But 3rd book, I really loved the 1st book in this series. It's like a Beauty and Beast retelling. I know people don't like it as much as the 2nd one, but for me, the 2nd and 3rd one weren't that good. They were okay. This was very fast paced. I read it all in like 2 sittings. So I did enjoy it. I enjoy the characters, but I just don't enjoy them as much as I did the 1st book. I just really enjoyed that first like Beauty and Beast retelling-y story with fairies, and the more it went, the more I'm not interested. I'm not going to keep reading. She's gonna like do more of this world. I don't care enough to read more of it. And I might even donate the 2nd and 3rd book of this series. I think I would reread the 1st one again, because I really do enjoy it just as a like standalone book. But I'm just not really into the series anymore. Lumberjanes Volume 8, I believe. This is a story. It's like girls in like a Girl Scout camp basically, and just weird crazy things happen. It was about like a Medusa creatures that were freezing people in the camp, and they had to go and save them. It was entertaining. I just love this graphic novel. I just think it's so cute, so I continue to support it and buy it every time they come out. And I read The Devil is a Part-Timer Volume 1. This is super cute. It's about this guy who is like a devil demon lord, and he gets transported to Earth and becomes basically a human, and he works at basically McDonald's, and it's so funny because he's like, I'm starting at the bottom, but when I become like the manager, I will take over the world, like, and I don't know, it's just super funny. And his like assistant turned into a human and lives with him. This girl was like someone battling against him, and she's turned into a human. So there's a bunch of people from the demon world who've turned into humans now, and they're trying to like make their way through America, trying to, you know, they're living paycheck to paycheck at a part-time job, making like a minimum wage. It's super funny. It was very entertaining. I can't wait to read more of it. Then I read 1 through 7 of the manga Full Moon. This is a graphic novel series that I read when I was like 12, 13. I highly adored it, loved it so much, but I decided I better reread it because I have no room on my shelves to keep things that I don't need. And this was one of the better ones I reread this month. I reread 2 other series, and this one was probably the best of them. It's about a girl named Mizuki, I want to say, Mizuki, and she's 12, she's dying of lung cancer, and she's always dreamed to be a singer. Her parents were singers, and they've passed away. She's always dreamed of being a singer. She's always wanted to be one, but she can't because she's sick. She meets basically a demon, and he's here to, you know, take her life. And she says, like, first, I just want to, like, become a singer. Can I please, like, fulfill my dream, and then you can take me? So he agrees. So he turns her 16, healthy, you know, good vocal cords, and she becomes a pop star. So it's very, like, cheesy, but just very cute at the same time. You learn about the different, like, shiguris. You learn about the different, like, demons, there's, like, 4 of them, and how they became them by, like, committing suicide, and their stories, and so it's very sad. Mizuki also has a love interest in the first book, and find out, like, he is why she is trying to become Full Moon, the singer, and, like, what comes from there. And it was very entertaining. All of them were, like, 3.5s, maybe 4s, probably 3.5. They were very cute and entertaining, but also very weird that she was like 12 and then she would turn 16 and then she was in, like, you know, relationships because she was actually still 12, but they didn't really talk about that, and so it was good. I would recommend it out of the other ones I read, but I still think you would only really enjoy these if you were like under 15. Then I reread Pixie Pop volumes 1 through 3. This one is a very short series. It's about a girl named Mayu. She works in her mom has a little cafe, and she's like always wanted to be in love. She's in love with this boy at school and no one loves her back. And she meets this little fairy named Paju, I want to say. But she's the most annoying thing in the whole world. If she wasn't in this manga, it would have been fine. But she was so annoying. She talked in like weird baby talk. Super annoying. You just wanted to punch her in the face. Without her, it was fine. Mayu was kind of very young. I think they're supposed to be like 13 or 14, something like that. I don't think they were in high school yet. I want to say they were like 14. But it was okay. I gave them basically like 2 stars because I hated the little Pachu girl, the little pixie. She was super annoying. But overall, it was cute, but just one you should pick up from the library if you want to read. Then I read The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wing. This was such a cute graphic novel. It is about a girl who is a dressmaker and a prince of the land, and she becomes his dressmaker. Sebastian actually like has an alter ego as Lady Crystalina. He likes to dress up in dresses and go out in the night and like show off his fashion to the world. And Francis is his dressmaker and helps make all these creations happen. They go out of the town, you know, show off their designs, and Francis is trying to become famous, but Prince Sebastian is scared they will find out that Lady Crystalina is really him. And so I thought it was a really good story. I really liked the art in here. I thought it was very cute and bright and colorful, and all the dress designs were really pretty. And it's just one I would highly recommend. I thought it was very good, and I can't wait to read it again. Then I read The Forest of Hands and Teeth by Carrie Ryan. It's about a girl named Mary that lives in this world that's protected by a fence. There are people that become like soldiers and they protect the fence from like the outside world. And you learn they're kind of like zombies, and so they're trying to protect this village from these zombies. And Mary just doesn't believe that their world is all there is, and she has always wanted to leave. Her mother always told her about the ocean, so she has dreams of like running away from her village to find the ocean and to find other life. And everyone in her village always told her no, that like there's nothing else out there. They are the only survivors left. And so it's kind of, you know, learning like, is everyone lying? Is there other things outside of the village while they're trying to run from this like zombie attack? It was actually very entertaining. It is a series. Not one I'm going to purchase the rest, but I think I would read them if I got to it. I am interested. It ended in a cliffhanger. I do kind of want to know what happens next, but I don't think it's one that is that important to me. Then for the other manga series I read, I finished 2 through 8 of PETA 10. I read the first one in May for a reading challenge, and so I finished it. It was not good. It was so good when I was like 12, but here it wasn't good. It's about a guardian angel that comes to Earth to take care of the main character, Kataru, I think is his name. And she's come to take care of him. She's the worst guardian angel ever. She talks in like super baby talk. I don't know why I read so many like baby talk books when I was 12 or 13. Goes through their adventures. He's like 10, 11. He's trying to get into middle school, guys, so he's very young, probably 11 or so, and it's just them like doing entrance exams to get into schools. Overall, I think it's more geared towards like 10-year-olds. It was okay. I gave them all like 2 stars. Not one I'm ever going to reread. I'm probably going to donate them. I'm glad I reread them because I kept them for so long because I thought they were amazing, which, you know, they were when I was 12 or so. But yes, just very young, very baby talk, just about middle schoolers, nothing that exciting, and it just ends in like a cliffhanger. It wasn't a good ending. It wasn't like satisfied, I don't think, so it's just not one I would ever reread or really recommend. And finally, the best book I read this month was You by Caroline Kepnes. Oh my god, this book was so amazing. I loved it. I think you're either going to be in a group of like, you think this is the worst book ever or the best, and I just thought it was the best book ever. It is about this guy named Joe, and it's told in like, he's telling the story and it's like he's telling it to the girl he's stalking. It's about a girl, he's stalking a girl. And it's like, you walked in here, I looked at you, I watched you sit down. It's very creepy because then you feel like you are the girl and like, ugh, Joe is stalking you. So it's about this guy named Joe. This girl named Genevieve comes into his bookshop. She goes by Beck, I want to say. She goes by Beck. Her last name is Beck. This girl named Genevieve Beck comes into his bookstore that he works at, and he just becomes obsessed with her. He like, you know, looks at her name on her credit card, finds her on Facebook, finds her like everywhere on Twitter, follows her, and then he begins to stalk her in real life, like goes to her house, breaks into her house, like stalks her friends. And just crazy stuff happens. It is very scary, but then you like don't feel bad for him because you like are rationalizing with him in his head of like why he's doing things, and you're just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, being a stalker isn't bad because he doesn't like think he is. And I don't know. It is so good, so scary. I read this in like one sitting, so, like, so entertained by it. There's like a sequel, and I don't think it did as well, but I still really want to read it because I want to know what happens next because it's so horrible and it's so good. Like, I want to reread it, but it's scary. It makes you want to like private everything in your world and like, I have, you know, like not give your real name out to anyone because they can find you, and it's just so scary. And I really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend it. It's a very scary, like, stalkery book. But it was amazing. Best book I read this month. So yeah, guys, those were all the books I read in the month of June. What are some books you read this month? Please let me know below. And thank you guys so much for watching. Bye, guys!